One time I asked God, what was the secret with David's heart? What was the secret with David's heart? What made him different? Why would you choose him when there was a man on the throne already that you could have dealt with and corrected and left the kingdom to continue? What was so special about David? So I took time to study. And the Spirit of the Lord told me, it is how he understood and related with my presence. There are people who have been born again for maybe 15 or 20 years or 30 years or 40 years in the gospel. And they have seen many a thing in the presence of God. But they have never understood nor related with God to a certain place in God. You have read of this man saying, as the deer panteth for the water, so my soul longeth after you. Have you ever been thirsty enough and imagine what a hart or a deer would be like, looking for water in a dry place and it cannot find what it would feel like? And he says, this is how he felt every day, longing to get into the house of the Lord. He says, I was glad when they say to me that, well, let's go to the house of the Lord. The scriptures tell us that when the Ark of the Covenant left Israel, David made this statement. He said, I shall not rest until the presence of God returns back to Israel. He could not rest. He has a problem sleeping in a certain house when the presence of God is in curtains. David would not sleep in a house of cedar when the presence of God is in curtains. No wonder when it returns, he's dancing himself and the clothes fall off. Not because he's insane or he doesn't want to be, modest like anybody else. But there is nothing that consumed him like the presence. There is nothing that he knew like the presence. There is nothing that he understood. He says, for in the nights when I'm asleep, you instruct my spirit. You speak to my reins. David loved the presence. David loved the presence. But when you read the book of Psalms, you also realize he has a very, very deep vision of God. Deep vision of God. That's what made him different. Now, if you're still the kind who still says, I have this, I need this, let me go to the presence, you have not yet understood this. God is looking for a person. God is looking for a man in the world who will die to everything the world can give and say, I am available for something bigger, for something higher. There's nothing that breaks heaven. Like when we are able to sit through 2 or 3 hours of a movie comfortably. You just supposed to run to the toilet and back and play it. But you can't even sit in the presence of God for 15 minutes. For 20 minutes. Just locking yourself up. And say, I just want to be with God. And you're not there because you have a problem. No. Certain things are inviting you.